What's going on, everyone? My name is Twig, and today we are discussing the Chronicles of the Wolf after obtaining all achievements. Had a really great time with this one, clocking in around 25 hours in total to achieve all 5 endings, log all enemies in the bestiary, and collect all items. If you're new to the channel, I've started reviewing games that I 100% here on YouTube in video format and posting my written reviews on Steam as well, so add me on there if you game on PC. Now, I've already posted a first look video covering what this game is all about, but in short, you step into the boots of Matteo Lombardo, who is a part of the Rose Cross Order sent to hunt the legendary beast of Jeduvan. Along the way, you'll encounter bosses, explore vastly unique areas, and uncover the secrets of the land. Chronicles of the Wolf is currently listed for full price at $20, but you can snag it on a discount until July 3rd for $18. I did want to shout out Megami Games, P-Cube, Pixel Heart, and Keymeller for sending me a review code. This was one of my most anticipated games from the first half of 2025, and it definitely lived up to the hype for me personally. If you do enjoy that retro SNES gameplay feel of games like Castlevania, then this will satisfy your craving for sure. I'm a huge fan of games like this, especially when they feature a dark and dreary setting. The game starts off as kind of a side-scroller, but then progresses into a full-blown Metroidvania about a third to halfway through the game once you unlock a certain area. I loved all the secrets and puzzles, with some being super old-school feeling. I guess this is a good time to talk about the difficulty. With this being an homage to old-school games, it does inherit some of those qualities as well, or I might say lack the modern qualities of newer games in the same genre. For instance, there is very little hand-holding in terms of puzzles or hints. You have to read signs or talk to NPCs to get a lot of the information on where to go next or what you need to be doing, instead of having like a marked area on your map or quest marker. Speaking on the map, as of right now, there isn't a way to add markers to your map to remind yourself where you need to come back to or where a location of a person you needed to talk to was. While I do enjoy the pursuit to capture a game's feel from the past, some of these quality of life improvements may turn some players off, but in my case, it's kind of a breath of fresh air to have some of these old school features in a game. I found myself discussing locations and puzzles on the Steam discussion board, whereas I probably wouldn't have had to do before. There were times where I forgot where an NPC was that I needed to backtrack to, or even which enemies I needed to farm for drops for certain weapons. And by the way, your bestiary will tell you some of the items that an enemy drops, but another point of the game that some people thought was too limiting was the ability to fast travel from only a handful of spots, which is true, but I'm glad we got teleportation at all. And then we come to the discussion of hard saving. I'm not the biggest fan of hard saves, and if you don't know what it is, it's basically when you die, you go back to that last time you saved, and everything you did after that point gets undone. Now, I will say this isn't a Soulsvania style game. Enemies do respawn when you leave the screen and come back, and you don't level up and pick stats. They automatically increase as you reach the designated XP limit. So I can see why hard saves are a thing in this game, and ultimately I did get used to it, but I had to subconsciously remind myself to be aware of the situation enough to sometimes backtrack to a save point and make sure I don't die because of the progress I've achieved. Other than those things, I thought the game was pretty easy. Bosses as a whole weren't too bad at all. Only a few of the later ones were a little tough, with the true ending final boss being the hardest. But personally, one thing that I would have liked to see in the game, and I also mentioned this in my first look video, was the ability to hot swap between two weapons on the fly without having to go into the menu. I feel like I would have used a ranged weapon more, but as you play, there are a ton of weapons that you unlock that you're constantly swapping out for a better one. There's not only a lot of weapons, but also rings and other gear to equip and customize the stats of your character. Visually, there are no changes, but you can definitely become more powerful with new items equipped. Another thing that I really loved was the environment of the world around you and the music that went along with it. I gotta give props to the amazing Robert Belgrade for the narration and Jeffrey Montoya for the killer soundtrack. The amount of content that this game offers surprised me, and I had a blast playing through this one. In Chronicles of the Wolf, we do get the ability to unlock an achievement for collecting all of the other trophies in the game, which is always a nice touch for people wanting to display that on their profile, which I did. But of course, we have 5 achievements for seeing all 5 endings, a few for defeating certain bosses, 1 for collecting 10k gold coins, 1 for seeing all acts of Lady Carmine's plays, and then a few collectible or in-game ones. Uncovering 100% of the map will be one of the final achievements you unlock, along with logging every enemy in the bestiary, which will probably be when you face the true ending final boss. And what's cool is, after a certain point in the game, after the normal ending, you have to do quite a bit of extra steps to even be able to beat the true final boss. There is a little bit of a grind in order to unlock the Ultimate Warrior achievement for reaching full stats, to even be able to perform an attack that causes the enemy to lose 99,999 HP for the Crusher achievement, and then you can face the final boss, which is pretty tough with tight window attacks. On top of beating the game, you'll need to clear boss rush mode, which after putting so much time into the game will be fairly easy. I did it on my first try actually, but it is super cool that this was included in the game with an achievement tied to it. I actually really enjoyed the game as a whole, and I really enjoyed the whole process of figuring out where certain items were found or where to farm weapons. I grinded for the gold cap before even reaching the castle, which was a fun time too, and the super hard platforming section was definitely a nice touch. It would be cool to get more custom achievement logos for all of them instead of just the wolf photo, but that's something that can definitely be added down the line, and we've seen that many times. I'm just thankful this game has achievements in the first place. This game was a fun time, and I thoroughly enjoyed sinking some time into it. I guess now I need to go back and play Wallachia by Megami Games as well. I think that's how you pronounce it. If you enjoyed this video, a like or sub would be much appreciated. My brother and I are tackling the first Resident Evil right now, which has been insanely fun, so we have some cool stuff on the horizon. Recommend me some Steam Summer Sale games if you have come across any, and I will be sure to catch you all in the next video. Have a great week. Peace.